Cheers.
All right. Yo, and we're back. Strip Digital Radio Sound Art Expression presents LA Style Magazine. We got my girl Ashley on the mic.
You know what it is.
How you doing, girl?
You know,
Guess
I'm
who's
always
back?
great. I got my froyo today.
Oh my God.
You know, my cheesecake.
Come on.
I have been craving cheesecake for so long. Every week I have to have cheesecake.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know you had
I'm
that
back.
little fruity stuff that you had earlier, but it is what it is. Hey, and guess who else is with us? We got Christine Nation. How you doing, girl?
I'm amazing. It's so exciting to be here.
When we say how are you doing, not how are you? What you look like? Amazing. Good stuff.
Everything's amazing.
There we
I'm
go.
amazing.
We're so
Life's
glad
amazing.
to have you
Being
tonight.
a dream
You know,
It's really cool, man, to have you come on and bless us on the mic. Both of y'all, because y'all both back behind the scenes most times. So it's good to have you guys come out, man.
coming out the woodwork.
It is. It's nice.
But it ain't about us. I
It's
feel.
not about us.
It isn't.
It really isn't. So Ashley, man, you gotta bring this gentleman in, man. He's coming with some dope flavor. So let us know who he is.
This is a boy, Mezuo. What's
Mezuo.
really good?
The house.
How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all.
Man.
I'm feeling blessed.
Man.
You know,
Hey, Mezuo.
it's 11:45, bro. We in here.
You in the hot seat, baby. We doing this.
It's-
all right.
Yeah, we're here.
Thank you for blessing us, man. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all.
So man, let's jump right into it, man. Where are you from? What is Mezuo about? Talk to me, brother. What's going on? Where are you from?
Well, I pulled up from Houston, Texas.
Another Houston.
You have another Houston in here.
Yeah.
All right, I got to know where. What part? What part of Houston?
Fort Bend County.
Okay.
Southwest on the map. Yeah. And I actually moved from Austin, Texas, where I was going to school.
Okay.
So I moved here after college. Texas boy, Texas born and raised, and then came out to LA to further the career. You know the story.
Now, how long you been here?
It's been a little bit fragmented. So I moved out here the first time, fall 2015 through school.
Mhm.
And then after graduation, top of 2017 in January.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that life, that Houston life. So how did that surrounding, how did that upbringing shape, what you're doing in your creative sense and
Yeah, let's go
where
back.
you're going? Yeah, let's go there.
I heard you got started like.
yeah.
I'll let you put that out there, but
You got a good background, man. So you gotta talk about that.
I appreciate it. So I got started when I was about 15. Actually doing a summer program in New York at Columbia for a pre-law program.
So you full of brains over there. Go ahead.
You can tell he's soft-spoken.
Yes, he is.
You can tell.
I'm trying, you know what I mean? And basically I got back to the city, and I really wanted to go back to New York City, but I started writing rhymes properly when I got back to Houston. I started producing at 17. I guess to not stray too far away from your question, how the city influenced me. I mean, I got to see a lot of greats come out of that city, man. And it's very culturally rich in Houston. It provided a lot of opportunities for me to perform even in high school. I opened for the likes of Zero, Slim Thug, Devin the Dude, Afro Man, Paul Wall, Bum B, Chameleonaire, even before I turned 19,
Yeah.
Wow.
So that city definitely taught me a lot. I felt like I knew there was a little bit more to the scene outside of that city. And, Austin came with its blessings as well, moving out there for school. They call it the music capital. I got more exposure into the arts.
Yeah.
Just being able to have that college crowd and people more willing to adopt the work and like-minded people in my audience demographic, if you will. Prepared me really well to kind of come out here to what I consider the major leagues, which is LA. So, yeah.
You got a head start on your 10,000 hours.
Uh,
they say you need
That's
to
right.
put in your time.
That's right.
So hats off. You got started early.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was more of a hobby, for the first 3 years or so. I made the decision on my 19th birthday, roughly, that I was really going to pursue this as a career. And that's the interesting part. I had done some cool stuff before then, but I was just kind of more so going with the flow, and it was just something I really enjoyed doing, and something new that I picked up after playing sports my whole life. Yeah.
Was there a point where you had clarity, like, this is my calling, this is my mission?
Yeah, I think it's after I dropped this track, XIX, my freshman year of college. XIX, Roman numerals for 19. I dropped it on my 19th birthday. And I feel like I was getting some pretty cool reception on the mixtapes that I was dropping before that. But that one, I feel like some of the things that people were saying, even outside of my friend group, and then listening to it myself and really being able to internalize what I put out, I knew I had something there.
What were you trying to say? Or not trying. What were you saying?
What was I saying on that record? It was I was honestly tapping into a lot of issues that I was dealing with my family, and not necessarily like that they were putting onto me, but just a lot of stress that I was kind of coming onto from my family that I was taking into the university space, and I let that out in the music.
There you go.
And I mean, that beat at that point, that was the best thing that I had produced. So again, like everything combined just showed me, hey, like this is my calling. This is something that I should do and I should pursue,
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's talk. So I know you do music, you screenwrite.
Yeah.
So can we talk about what I feel is like your biggest thing that you're working on, or you feel is like what you're driven to do? Or is that kind of a combination where you want to bring your music into your screenwriting and kind of just blend the two?
See, this is an interesting question. I've gotten it in Austin. I've gotten it in LA. I don't put myself in a box creatively, so there's nothing that I would say that I primarily do. If I introduce myself, I'll tell people I rap, produce music, screenwrite, and now I recently just gained representation on the acting front.
Congrats on that.
I appreciate you. Yeah. Music came first.
Yeah.
So, it has a special portion of my heart that it can't really be messed with. And I feel like it influenced me to dive into film and television in college.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think all of them build on each other, and they've created opportunities for each other, if you will.
So would you say you're open to other opportunity, whatever kind of door opens a little bit more, or do you see yourself on all those platforms at one time?
Or let's say maybe you do acting or something, and that kind of just leads getting that role and then bringing more of your music in there and just kind of taking whatever path kind of gives you more of the ability to have like more of a crowd come in and get more of an audience on there?
Absolutely. So in this hypothetical space, I'm going to dive into whatever big opportunity comes in all these things that I say that I tackle. So if there's a big job that comes on the acting space, I'm going to give that 100%. Like I took 12 weeks at the end of last year, and I was, studying at Margie Haber Studios, and I was kind of just honed in on the acting front to kind of stick to my commitments with my agent, if you will. But I feel like in this situation where a role comes up, I will try to backdoor and get, the writing ability in there and let the people on the project know that this is something I do and I have scripts behind
Multitalented.
Yeah, like I'm not just gonna sit there and play the actor. If I'm the writer, I'm not gonna just sit there and play the writer. Like,
you want to be more than that. You can be like, I can act. I want to be behind the camera. I want to maybe like if you're on a series, be able to introduce that as well and kind of work on that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm like I said, I just can't put myself in a box creatively. I was blessed enough to even score my first feature film this past October. A film out of Toronto. It caught distribution at the Toronto International Film Festival. It was an hour and a half, and I did all the music for it originally. It was multi-genre. I produced everything on there.
What's the name of the film? Yeah. I mean, you can't just drop that. Like,
I'm like, okay.
Oh, by the way,
I'm like, thank you. I'm like, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say no. Okay, he's not gonna say it. Okay, he's gonna skirt around everything.
It's
we get that you're humble, but give us more.
It's titled Clash. I don't have word on the release day right now, but the director did just send something to my inbox today. Actually, I feel like it was the final cut of it, so that's good news. And as I mentioned, it caught distribution, so it will be screening. I don't have the information on that, but it's titled Clash. Y'all definitely look out for it.
I follow you on Instagram. I'll make sure.
I appreciate it.
I have
I
your
feel it's
email
worth
and your
taking a
number. I'm
moment
coming
for
hot with you.
that.
I'm like, what is this?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and again, just to go back to the point, like when I got that job, I gave that my all for that 2-week period that I was scoring it. I wasn't really doing anything else. I was locked in front of my computer just producing. I wasn't doing much else. So if I need to lock in on something, I do that.
Okay.
As it comes. And I feel like as my career progresses forward, like that's just how I'm gonna move. I mean, you see guys that are able to do it right now. Donald Glover. I mean, he's doing kind of whatever he wants to do.
Yeah,
right?
no, he's multi-talented.
He's doing whatever he wants to do. So these are guys that I've been watching for a while. And it's inspiring, it's motivating, and it tells me that anything can be done. And I have an enjoyment for what I do. And, I look forward to tackling many things, many more opportunities in the future.
So I want to talk about, since I know you're doing a lot of music, can you, for people who don't know your music or want to get to know you better, how would you describe your music?
So I catch a lot of my influence from the greats of the early 2000s. My music has a soulful flair with jazz elements and just inherently catchy melodies. I try to make sure that I have something in that music that's tangible that anybody can latch onto, while putting together my real and heavily layered story on top of it, putting that on top of a contemporary but unique sound to create like a timeless experience for my audience. That's really what I'm looking to do. So, I mean, yeah, that's how I would describe my music, my influences. Yeah, I mentioned Gambino, J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, Kanye, B.O.B., Chitty Bang.
Okay.
That kind of class of people that I've studied for a long time, to be able to find things that I like and be able to just craft something unique for myself over time that's authentic and people can actually extract something from,
No, I definitely respect that, because Leash introduced us, and she was like, yo, to check out this cat. Like, he's super dope. So as soon as I went home, I checked out your music, and I did catch those elements in there. And I was like, damn, okay, we have to get this dude up on this radio show, because you do a lot of things. And I was like super interested because with your music, I know that you do throw events, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff that you've been doing. Yeah. So how do you like those events that you're doing? And like, have you been getting a really good audience and a lot of good feedback from all of that? Yeah. I'm sorry I have not gone. I promise I will go to one of these events that you're performing at. I promise. Okay, I'm not going to catch heat over here.
Yo, it's all good. It's all good. These events, I guess I'll give the background of why I got into event production to begin with in Austin. I feel like a lot of my career, I've just felt like I don't really want to wait around for opportunities. So starting with learning how to make beats and not having to wait around for producers to be able to make my music. I feel like in Austin, even while I was going to school, I was eager to get on stage. And I knew, hey, people booking me, that is me being dependent on something. Ultimately, I have the ability to be able to create something, create a space for myself, and put myself on the stage. So I started in Austin. I was throwing rooftop parties, just utilizing apartment complexes, telling them, hey, we want to do something on the roof, get some people out here. I have my DJ equipment. I would bring it out, and I would pretty much just invite my friends in the college space and perform and put on a show just so people could see me perform. And so coming out to LA, coming back out here in 2017, I didn't play a show the whole year, 2017, because I was trying to get reacclimated with the space, trying to reestablish my network out here. Yeah. And again, I had it in my mind the whole time. I can't be dependent on like getting booked by somebody to put me on stage. So fortunate enough to tap in with a production company out of UCLA, like May 2017. We worked on it. and put together our first show February 2018. We brought like 200 people out on a Thursday night. I was able to headline it and co-produce the show in downtown LA. And that was my first event here, and it was a blessed experience to be able to do it. But I had the experience already in college doing stuff like that, and I had the repetition, and I had the belief that it could be done. And I threw like 8 events, 9 events last year. Thrown a couple this year. I performed over Grammy weekend at a show that I co-produced at Dirty Laundry. I mean, we had it packed out. Fortunately, we had Ty Dolla $ign pulled up, Busta Rhymes pulled up, 24 Hours pulled up, because Anna Pac had an event like next door. You know what I mean? So right there in Hollywood.
Should have pulled up, because I honestly, I really fuck with 24 Hour like hard. Like nobody knew. And I was like, and I saw that and I was like, damn it, I'm going to bed right now.
Missed it.
Yeah, it's
missed it.
It's so they've been going well. And what the difference in LA is, I came out here with the understanding that you never know who could really pull up to your show.
No, it's true.
Yeah. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, I said, yeah, true.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You never know who's going to pull up. So that's more of a reason to kind of get that repetition, give my audience an opportunity to be able to see me live and accompany the other things that I'm doing. And it gives me the opportunity to be able to just network better in the city and just do what I love to do. I don't even know if that fully answered your question, but
no, it really does. No, I respect that those people's pulled up, because I was like, damn, like you are super talented. And for somebody like anybody of those kind of more A-list stars pulling up to your show, that means like they're going to hear your music. They're going to see what you're doing. And those are like, will lead into something, if that's getting into the studio or getting something going. You know what I mean? That's super dope. And that's great to be able to come back into the scene and doing what you're doing right now.
Of course. Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And when you look in what you're doing as far as your content and what's going on in your music, I wanted to know, because I got a track that Ashley put on over. I think it's called Final Cut, correct?
So I sent her,
or is it the Final Cut?
I sent it to her like literally how I cut it out of my computer. So this track is titled Mistakes.
Okay, Mistakes. Well, the mistake was that I didn't get the right name, but it's so good.
So he called me this morning. He texted me, he called me, and I was like, I don't have your number saved. I'm the worst at saving anybody's number. And he was like, just call me. He said, give me a chance. Like, call me. It's me. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna call you back. And he's like, you get my music? You got my bio? Am I still good to get on? And I'm like, yeah. Are you cool? Do you want to come on? I'm like, if you're not ready for it, you can just like, your music's good. But I'm like, if you don't want to, I mean, it's fine. Like, we can reschedule you. When you called me, I was like, damn, he's gonna probably reschedule.
No, but it was great, man. When I checked out the track. Yeah. And I wanted to know, who was your inspiration, because you shout out a lot of people within that music right there.
Yeah,
you got a lot of things going on. So who was who's coming in there? And did you produce the track?
Yeah, I self-produced it. I was just me all over it.
Yeah, that's it was like.
I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, with that track. My mom was obviously a huge inspiration on that one. I know I had a line about Drake and Meek's beef. I thought, and this is a track I wrote like back in 2014. I produced and wrote that.
Wow.
Yeah. Meek and Drake. Who else did I call? I called out Ye in that track, and I basically. I talked about it in the production sense. I guess I kind of drew a comparison there.
Right.
And I also, called out Houston, Austin, LA, these locations that have influenced me. Yeah, I feel like that track was mostly influenced by just the progression that I've seen and how that was impacted by things that happened in my life and in my family. And yeah, it's just kind of a combination of everything and just growth. Yeah.
Okay. So it was a whole pot of gumbo.
It was a pot of gumbo, man. Yeah.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
How did mom feel about that being called out?
Well, actually, my mom passed after my sophomore year of college.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm sure she would have loved it, honestly. You know what I'm saying? She was a big fan of mine. Um, my dad likes the track, you know what I'm saying? If that's a consolation.
There you go.
That's a beautiful thing when parents
It's good when
can
you
get
it.
Yeah. So I wanted to be able to honor her in that way and tell her, like, yo, even though you're gone, you're still here, and these things are gonna happen for me, regardless of the circumstances of the situation that have unfolded.
Right.
So, you know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about your music. Do you have anything else you're cooking up that we could possibly talk on the radio, or we got to hold off?
Yeah. Yeah, we could
Call it into existence.
We're looking for an exclusive.
Yeah, so I'm just finalizing the marketing efforts, the business end of an EP. I'm getting ready to roll out. I know I talked to you a little about it. Yeah.
I have my laptop here. We'll talk after.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll come back. I'll come back and revisit y'all, and you know, might get a little listen in. But yeah, 5-6 track EP, self-produced. Been putting in a lot of work on it. Production wise, you know, I'm not really in the studio for it anymore. Anything that I'm kind of creating is just for future projects past that. But just getting ready to have a successful rollout on that end and tour on the back end of that. Okay. And yeah, just be able to move and keep building in the space. That's it. That's the focus.
Definitely. Well, I'm excited to hear this thing, and we'll definitely have to, side note, we're going to get him back on here again.
Yes.
And that's definitely coming out.
Yes.
Because, you know, I love my music. So I'm like, oh, you got music? Oh, we coming back on for sure.
Yeah.
You know, when you speak, you have so much like wisdom already. You know, you've covered the business side of things. You calling to confirm that you're gonna be here. Like, you know, for me, what I hear is clarity.
Yeah.
And you know, like even the sparkle in your eyes is like your energy. You're here
I appreciate
to own
that.
the space.
Yeah.
So what? 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see is the big thing, the accomplishment? In a few years, you'll be sitting back like, I did it.
Oh my goodness.
You just had a release there.
We're intense in here. We ask the real questions.
We get to the meat potatoes.
Okay, so let me make sure I get the question right. You're saying, like, in a couple of years, what do I think is going to be the biggest thing that I'm kind of looking back
What
on?
are you manifesting? What are you creating?
Ooh, okay. In the music space, definitely a world tour. To be able to just get my music out on a wider scale than I ever have before. I played shows in multiple, you know, areas. I got out of the country for the first time, played a show last summer in Toronto at Afrofest, but really to be able to tour the world with my music and a project that I put my heart and my soul into, and to have, you know, people singing along and knowing the words in different parts of the world, maybe in languages that they're not even familiar with. And then there's a whole side of film and television. Honestly, to be running my own show and to be literally like, we were just in writing sessions, just crafting this from outline to Bible to pilot script to then pitching it, getting it picked up. And now, like, I have a team and we're running this and I get to actually watch this finished product. Like, I feel like that would be huge, and something that I definitely see coming up. It's just so many goals. Like, that question is so heavily layered. So I hope I don't miss any points, you know, like, and you know, even being able to act in a project that I write and being able to see that side of it too, you know, and just to be able to reap the fruits of my labor and to be able to sit back and kind of watch this unfold. I think that would be amazing. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to right now.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Tiz, am I allowed to ask how old he is? Is that a rude question?
It's not a rude question.
No.
Go ahead.
No,
See what it, you know.
I'm 25.
25.
Yeah. So, birthday is December 1st. I know some people are big on the horoscope. I'm a Sagittarius. You
Okay.
know?
I'm like,
Talk to him, man. Talk to him.
I don't know
You
anything about horoscopes. Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm just like somebody's like that, and I'm just like if it rolls up on my feed, I'm like, okay, what's my sign? What does it say today? It says you have no money. Cool. I already know that. Tight. All right. Love life 0. Perfect. That's on point. Everything else, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I don't understand any of this, so I just keep it. I keep it moving. So I understand. I'm like, what is that? They're like, you're not compatible with like a Leo, and I'm like, what?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Really though?
I just not compatible with a lot of people.
You know what I
One
mean?
thing I'm compatible with is food. Okay.
She's 100. I love
Yo.
her.
Yeah, I'm always 100.
So I want to bring it back real quick because I asked the age question.
Let's get it.
Because I feel like there's a lot of young men who could relate to chasing the dream
Mm-hmm.
and having multiple talents,
Mhm.
not knowing what direction to go in.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to, entrepreneurs in the music space such as yourself? What advice would you give?
Right now, definitely equip yourself with the business sense.
In what fashion? Sorry, I gotta go deeper because when you say equip yourself with the business sense, what do you mean?
So for me, like I changed it was at the point I contemplated dropping out of college like 9 different times. And I feel like something that helped me was switching majors into the business school. So I have a business degree in marketing and couldn't really relate to anybody in my classes, honestly. Everyone was kind of heading into the corporate space. And I made it very clear to my professors that I was coming out here and doing this. Sometimes it felt like I wasn't necessarily getting talked to, but I took my notes and I grabbed what I needed to and what I knew was relevant in terms of how to think about like consumer behavior primarily. And I think that was a big step for me.
And you got your degree.
I did.
Wow.
After lots of thoughts of dropping out. I do have the degree.
There you go.
I got it. Yeah.
And you're making it work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then past that, persistence, resilience, and mentality, I think are the 3 things for any kind of entrepreneur trying to come up. You got to hold on to those and just make sure that you don't break mentally. You think positively about where you're trying to get to and know that you can get there through any kinds of trials and tribulations, and just keep getting back up because you got to know that it's never going to be perfect. There's been a lot of shortcomings. There's been a lot of times where nothing was going on, where it felt like calls weren't being picked up. It felt like, I couldn't produce anything that was worth anything, but I never beat myself up. I just have to know that in this creative space, like it's not always consistent. There's a lot of uncertainties, but there's a side of that I just really fell in love with, and I've internalized like those 3 components I told you about. And that's really what keeps me driving and keeps creating opportunities for me all the time. Just that belief, just that straight belief in myself to know like, hey, I can do this. I am well equipped to do this, regardless of, maybe something coming in the way that wasn't necessarily what I was expecting. I'm going to be able to navigate and get to the other side. I always do. I've done it here, and here. So why not this time? As I'm going to get through it, and I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'm going to advance.
It's really cool, man, to hear you say that because you're a lot farther than your age. It's in wisdom. And I know that there are so many people who are listening right now. Even myself, when I look back and I can say, okay, at 25, I didn't have any of what you just said. It was all that would have been like, no, I'm doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you to say that, for our listeners to be able to grab a hold of that, if you're in whatever space you are, man, play that again, rewind it, hear it again, because it's like real big food for thought. And it's something that they can latch on to, it will definitely put them in a situation such as yours.
I completely agree. I completely agree. You really believe that? And again, it's just I had to train my mentality. I feel like it wasn't always like this, you know? Like I said, this started as a hobby, and I believed in my abilities at that time and what I was able to do. But at the point in time where I made the decision that I was going to make this a career, there was some things that I was even misinformed about at that time. Like I could tell you outright, at 19, 20 years old, I thought that solely my talent was going to be able to take me the distance in this industry. I quickly realized, like, yo, it's not doing anything, you know? Like I really can't get it past my friends that I'm in class with. And that's discouraging in a sense when I'm listening to myself and knowing like, yo, this is heat. This is exactly what I'm trying to produce, but it seems like nobody cares. Like, and again, figuring out that business side, having to double back and actually having to think critically about what I was doing incorrectly. Like to know I wasn't perfect. I might be making some fire, but there's a step that there's some things I'm not thinking about to be able to yield these results that I'm looking for, you know? And I had to put in time by myself to think about that, to be able to gauge what it was that I was doing wrong, to go back and fix these mistakes. And that's, you know, partially why that track is titled Mistakes and the EP coming out, like mistakes, you know, but to use those as growth and to learn, to build on those, you know, that was the most important thing for me. And so now it's just a part of me. You couldn't take it away from me if you wanted to. Like, this is just how I think. There's nothing I feel like I can't do.
You're way ahead of your years.
I love the piece that he shared about, you know, you talked about not beating yourself up.
Yeah, it's important. You know? It's all too important. What? We could beat ourselves up about so many things. We're imperfect beings, naturally speaking. Like, so many things we could beat ourselves up about. Like I said, like times when I feel like, yo, I'm on my keyboard or my launch pad trying to produce something, and it sounds like the garbage man is trying to like lift up the trash outside. I can't put anything together. I could kick myself. I could break my hardware or whatever. But yo, I can scrap it. I can start over. I can know that, hey, it's not always going to be like this. And sure enough, maybe 1-2 projects later, I have something that I like. Same thing with songwriting, same thing with screenwriting, same thing with acting, same thing with anything that I've done, like academically in school. Like, I don't beat myself up.
That's so good too, because the world is so good at beating us up.
Oh yeah,
right?
Knock you down and hold you there.
If you know, I can't stand up for myself and get out of it, then it's uphill.
It's tough because I mean, we find that we're our biggest opposition, and especially right now, like in entertainment right now, I don't really see competition, to be honest with y'all. I don't see competition. There's room for all of us to be able to eat, especially with social media right now.
Yeah.
You know, you got to think about that. And that's something that helps me as well. I don't know. Just thinking about things the right way and just moving forward. It helps keep me going. But,
no, facts. I respect that.
Yeah.
I think we all get in that weird headspace.
Yeah. I mean, there's no competition is just an illusion. It doesn't exist. Like, y'all can all do what y'all want to do. There's enough eyeballs and there's enough food for all of us to eat. That's it.
That is true. So what are you doing next? Like, so what you got coming up right now?
Yeah, right now I'm laser focused on this EP release, the rollout, just literally having a successful one and putting together a tour on the back end of that, because that's the process.
That's true.
That's the process. That's where a lot of the monetary gains are in the music industry, you know. And this is what I love to do. I love performing, and a project properly positions me to be able to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I'm always trying to get, I'm like, is there a show coming up?
I hear it.
You know, we're talking a lot of this wisdom and knowledge, and I'm like, okay, we got to drop it. We gotta, like, where are we gonna pinpoint that?
We're putting something together April 11th. Yeah, I'm working with my team on it right now. We're trying to make sense of the date, but It's going to be a Dirty Laundry in Hollywood. We got the date locked. So we're going to make something happen there.
Okay.
I didn't want to talk too much about it, you know,
can't talk much,
without us having our bases covered. But yeah, we got the date. Okay. So look out for that. April 11th, you know, something coming.
So I can actually say April 11th, Dirty Laundry.
Yeah.
My man's going to be in the house.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Okay.
Because I'm like, damn, okay, you're talking a lot of knowledge. I'm like, damn, okay. You're dropping a lot of facts. So I'm like, okay, we gotta make sure you're coming back out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that your followers, and that's something. What do you feel like you want your followers to know right now about you in this moment?
Just know that I'm coming with a lot of heat. I'm coming for a lot this year. Last year was a year of just immense growth. Like I said, 2017, I didn't play a show out here. Crazy. I haven't experienced something like that since I started making music.
Okay.
I was playing shows pretty consistently in college, just high school. I never experienced anything like that. So that drought was kind of weird for me. In 2018, I mean, I got the shows. I built the audience. I built the relationships out here in LA. 2019 is just a year to be able to activate and put everything together. And so this project is blood, sweat, and tears over the course of a lot of years. I can't wait for everybody to hear, and I can't wait to be back on the radio show to come back and talk about it, and we can celebrate on the back end.
Yes, definitely.
So that's awesome right there, man. So where can we follow this growth? This 2019 is going to be bringing a lot of shows and a lot of things. So how do we find you on social media? Where can people, your EP that's coming out, where is it going to be dropped? Let us know.
Yeah, so follow me at Mezuo Music, MEZUO, music spelled as is, MUSIC, on Instagram. The EP is going to be on all platforms, man. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, whatever. Awesome. It'll be available everywhere. And it's MEZUO. The U is silent. And you can find me, holla at me on Instagram. Now, I'm more than happy for this project to be coming out and for everybody to be hearing it. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, we excited too, man.
I appreciate that.
Looks like we're gonna have to have you back here before April 11th. Just get used to this man. Mezuo's on. He's gonna be with us.
He's just gonna be a fill-in host. We're just gonna have him in here, rotating in.
Just gonna come back. Yes. No, brother, you have a lot of knowledge, man. And like I said, as Christine was saying, there's a lot there, and your age, and your wisdom, they don't go together. But
appreciate
the good thing is, man, that you got it now, and you've got a long career ahead of you, and that's a great situation. And you got the great headspace to make some things happen. So
I really appreciate that.
Most definitely. So, man, I sometimes we hate to go, but we gotta keep moving too. So
absolutely, but it's all love, y'all. It's all love. I appreciate y'all again for having me on. I'm looking forward to coming back, of course.
Most definitely. But before we do go, I want you to tell all the listeners out there, man, what is your superpower?
Oh, the superpower. I kind of alluded to it earlier. I think my ball of energy that I carry around with me, persistence, resilience, mentality, all in a ball of energy. And that's what I wear on my sleeve. And I feel like if you have all of that in combination, it doesn't really matter what happens to you. You will always get to that destination of where you're trying to go and achieve what you are trying to achieve. From my experience, that's what I've seen.
It is.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's going to be doing some mentorship speaking around too. As well.
I was like, damn, you kidding.
I'm just saying, you got all these other careers, bro. Let's do it.
I mean, that shit is huge. You know what I mean? You can fill a damn arena. These people they need some guidance. People always want somebody to be a speaker to.
That's real. That's real.
So, man, put that in your wheelhouse, babe.
I will. Like I said, I carry it around with me. I can't help it. Appreciate y'all again.
Good stuff, man. Hey, let's give it up for my mama man Mezuo in the house again. Much love.
Yeah.
There it is. There you have it. Trip Digital Radio Sound Art Expression presents LA Style Magazine. My man Mezuo. Hey, Ashley.
You know what it is.
Good shit, girl. Thank you.
We out, man.
We
Shout out
there.
Trip Digital. Shout out Dash. Let's get it.
Thank you, Christine. Much love.